Danger, Will Robinson! Danger! No, Will Robinson!
You are now entering the spoiler zone.
Danger!
Hey Radical Ones, so it is Friday night and David and I have both separately watched the new Masters of the Universe Revelations cartoon, and we just wanted to do a really quick, our feelings about the show on the premiere day. It was 5 episodes, about 24 to 27 minutes long. David, your hot takes.
So I knew that was Evelyn in disguise. I think she even used the name Majestra, which I think was used before.
I heard that as well.
Skeletor had the shaping staff, which also was from the original. He
Love
also
that.
said, "Let this be our final battle," which was from the original Masters of the Universe movie. Teela, we know that Teela was going to be the main character.
So it did come out to be, for David, we were mentioning off camera really quickly, we didn't really mind, honestly. They fleshed out the other characters. It wasn't just He-Man that we loved to begin with, so.
I'm very sad that Orko died.
Oh my god.
But he died being a hero, that he did what he never thought he could do, which is he took on Skeletor.
Tears.
He took on Skeletor. Yeah, it was really sad. Evelyn was interesting. The fact that she looked like she was Princess Leia laying next to Jabba the Hutt in the opening.
That art, it was actually gorgeous. A lot of it I did notice was old art from the 80s. Amazing.
I love the campiness of some of it, like when they were walking with I call her unnamed girl that looks like one of the girls from looks like one of the Force captain from the She-Ra reboot, the girl with the dreads or whatever, that Evelyn was basically giving them life advice by talking smack about them, like, you pathetic young girls who follow a man, let me give you some advice. Even though they didn't ask for anything. You waste your whole life following somebody when you could have taken it for yourself. Bitter much?
Her and Beastman, their relationship too. That
Beastman has
so
a very he's very protective of her. I really thought it was interesting how Cyclops became like a cult leader.
His robotic people were creepy. I liked that as well. Oh my god, Queen Marlena. I love the whole thing, which we finally know 100%, not that we didn't know already, but that she knew Adam was her son. I loved that moment. And
which also brings me to a thing. Why didn't she tell King Randor that? I mean, but I remember when in the original cartoon where she said, I know what my son is capable of, which basically means she knew that he was He-Man then. And why wouldn't you share that? Because I mean, it was devastating when she said, my son is gone, and then King is like, no, he's fine, you know.
Oh, and his reaction to Man-at-Arms, I mean, really powerful scenes.
I kind of annoyed that he just threw Man-at-Arms out for
terrible.
that made no sense. Like, I know he was stricken with grief, but that's totally out of character for me and for them. Knowing
Teela, though, she had that same reaction. To all of them, Orko, Cringer, even the Queen.
She told them up. She said, I risked my life for all these years, and you all knew and you lied to me. But that also stemmed from her own insecurities, too. Yes, would I be pissed? To some degree, but the man is dead. At the same time, I'd be like, I don't know. Like, it wouldn't have enraged me so much that I walked out. I maybe would have been really pissed or stepped away, but she took it as like everyone was purposely holding information from her. The king did not know.
Yeah, but how did the king know she didn't know either? Because he didn't include her in this. Like, he threw out Man-at-Arms specifically, and I guess Orko then therefore too, he says.
But there was reasons for not letting, because to protect them at the same time. That's anybody that's like Supernatural or Superman or Wonder Woman, they keep their identities to protect the weaker people around them, basically, from getting harmed, or used as a bargaining chip.
That's right.
I'll kill Teela if you don't give over the sword because we know you're really He-Man. You know, that kind of thing.
But when she did say it, it clicked in my head. I mean, basically, Man-at-Arms or majority did know, because it did kind of make it sound like, I would be like, Boss man, Stratos don't know.
The cleaning lady that cleans the bathrooms on the weekend in the palace, she knew. How dare you?
We can't not mention the sorceress actually really holding it down.
She melted off the arms of the faker. Faker, and then
she had those crystals shooting on top
you can't come against the power of the beautiful Evelyn, or whatever he said when she shot at the sorceress.
Okay, He-Man's Sailor Moon transformation, including, when Sailor Moon turns with her skirt, he turned and his hairy underwears came on just like Sailor Moon's skirt. I loved it. I mean, it's
I like the fact that Skeletor killed Mossman and was like, he smells like pine. Because I'm going to tell you what.
Were you shocked though, like right there that a character died like that?
So bad but he really didn't, right? Doesn't he?
Well, no, he went to he went to heaven, Pre-Eternia, which is heaven, where all the, I guess, the previous He-Mans go. Heroes. The sorceress, primal sorceress.
It was interesting hearing Sarah Michelle Gellar's voice again, too, which was...
It was Buffy. All I heard was Buffy speaking as Teela.
The fact that they killed Adam again after he gave up living in heaven to become He-Man, which he did restore power, but then we know that sword's going to Teela or somebody.
Is that what they were saying? And by the way, notice no mention of She-Ra because Mattel doesn't have the rights to talk about She-Ra now. Isn't that terrible? Because She-Ra would have come, I'm assuming, to help. They mentioned the Horde.
I didn't even catch that part. They mentioned the Horde.
Yeah, they mentioned that they fought against the Horde. Oh, one of those Eternians, Hero, I think, one of the previous He-Man.
I just thought it was really interesting. The fact that they were in an illusion of Trala, and he said that he was supposed to be called Oracle, but he was an embarrassment to his family. I thought that was it. I thought that was interesting that Eva Lynn actually like encouraged him, and I think she actually felt bad that he died. I really do. She kind of had like
she called him a fool, but it was because he risked his life.
It's almost like a redemption story. So for him to do that,
so sad, really emotional. I will say He-Man really wasn't prevalent. There was flashbacks, but He-Man's heart really is shown. That heart of gold, like David would say. Adam has a heart of gold. It shows that one, he killed himself the first time, and then again he risked paradise, like Buffy. A parallel came out of heaven.
Did Evelyn know that Skeletor was going to come out of the broken part of the Havoc staff that she's like, I'm holding on to this. This is
she really was. I mean, she loved Skeletor.
She goes, I might be on the A&E Antique Show and see how much is this ram head I can get for this ram head.
Oh my god.
The Eternia Antiques Roadshow. I think she wants the power. I was cool that she took her headpiece off and put it at Orko's grave.
Yeah, I think Orko's really. And by the way, right before this, Kevin Smith had an interview and he basically said that he hated Orko. He was useless or something like that. And that's when it was spoiled ahead of time that Orko was going to probably die, because he said that he wanted to pull at your heartstring to make his story so, meaningful now. And then kill him, basically. Which, to me, I'm praying at the end of this that Orko comes...
I'm happy that he's not afraid to kill people in the sense that there's never, in the original He-Man, there was never any sacrifice. Good always saved the day. Nobody ever had any problems. She-Ra could have faced the fleet of the Horde, but somehow something magical would happen and she'd pull something out of her ass and everything would be fine and, whatever. So I agree. I actually caught a few minutes of, the after show thing, which is, the fear of the Walking Dead, Talking Dead.
Is it on Netflix? I gotta watch
it. It literally came right after this. I watched every episode.
Didn't come on.
And he was basically like, oh, isn't this cool? I killed Prince Adam not once, but twice. To me, okay, so you can say anything you want about Kevin Smith, whatever. It was very entertaining. I liked it.
Yes, honestly,
I didn't have a problem with it. The animation was pretty good.
Yeah, gorgeous.
The storyline was good. There was the only part at the very end, the last episode. Episode 5, where Teela was on some kind of hoverboard thing. I thought it was Wile E. Kit and Wile E. Cat or something going on. It was ridiculous.
And they were chasing the pre-Eternia.
It was stupid. It was filler. I'd rather have had
the last episode. Why was that in there?
I would have rather them sat down and had a heart-to-heart about what happened and call it a day and agree to disagree or whatever. Not this whole ridiculous flying on a hoverboard with the other heroes. And then they said that he chose not to use his form as He-Man but as Prince Adam.
That to me again showed his heart, doesn't it? I always knew Prince Adam was a sweetheart, and I think that shows his heart. He doesn't need to be glorified. He doesn't need to be this huge.
Well, I do.
Don't we all?
Give me the power. I want the power.
But Teela's, I'm sorry, at some points her face, she still was giving him the stank face, even in that episode. I'm like, are you happy? I know you're happy to see him.
She basically said, she goes, I'm not going to tell you something. It's a secret. It's a secret. I'm not going to tell you why I got to get these swords.
Tila, though. Wouldn't that be Tila? Because she was a little like, even in the original cartoon, she was a little like,
she had some resting bitch
Adam,
face.
like you used to say.
She had some resting bitch face, but she thought he was a useless like prince, like who was like just a pretty face. That's what she got from him. When in the original.
Did you like too that they did the homage to the original He-Man and Skeletor? Both the toys came with a power sword. Remember that? Like Skeletor had a purple one. It makes no sense with the Filmation. But did you like that the two parts too were like the two swords? Because that was the original concept, that there was going to be two swords and you put them together, and then it opens Castle.
See, I actually thought they could have done it where each sword embodied a certain amount of power, and that's what I thought you could have given that to a She-Ra type or a Teela type.
Oh, yes.
You could have had, this person summons the power from the underworld. This person summons the power from the whatever. I want to say permafrost. The permafrost.
I remember that name, though. David, do you think, though, that she's not going to become the sorceress? Like, in the second half, you really think she might get the sword of power? I had that feeling, too.
I think Adam's dead.
That is when the fans will revolt,
The fact that he said, I got to kill him twice.
Oh, my God.
But then again, he might have been like, I don't know. And the fact that that Skeletor can call on the power of Grayskull because he has the sword.
That's a homage to the 80s movie too, I feel like. Right? I'm the master of the universe.
When he became like the gold
gold glitter goddess of the disco.
Big Trouble in Little China. David Lopan, magical golden.
That is the look, actually. That is the look. And Mark Hamill as Skeletor. Did you like him as Skeletor?
Yeah, I mean, listen,
or too much Joker.
No, Kevin Smith put in a lot from the old. I think that it's an update. I think.
But did you notice the writers? A lot of writers, extra writers. Actually, probably He-Man fans, Kevin Smith lying. He did lie again and say it wasn't all about Teela. But I understand as a story-wise, because that was a spoiler then.
Well, my thing is, I don't want Adam... Okay, I accepted that He-Man... I honestly accepted that He-Man died because he saved everything at that point.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was back again for like 5 seconds and got stabbed, that was where I'm not happy, honestly, as a thing. I would have rather of him save the day and the power sword. Like, I would have honestly, I'm going to tell you something. I actually thought he was going to call on the power of Grayskull and nothing was going to happen.
Oh, yes.
I thought he was going to hold the sword up and nothing was going to happen. And then Teela was going to take the sorcerer was going to give it to Teela and she was going to summon the power and become like a She-Ra type.
It can't become She-Ra.
That's what I actually thought was going to happen. I for some reason I thought he wasn't going to be able to summon the power because he had died already. Sort of like when Buffy came back.
It's like this is 100, and those are like the first Slayers, right? It's like
death is your gift.
That's what I got from that. Gift. I'm honestly interested. I was invested in each episode.
I didn't like the middle of the other one at the very end. Kind of annoyed me. It was like ridiculous.
That's the only thing that slowed down the pace. But the whole thing with Orko, I love that Duncan watching Orko and gave him the magic water.
Well, of course, he's a good man. And I like the fact that, again, I actually like the whole cult thing where Klops becomes like a cult leader because he's like...
even who's with him? Trapjaw was with him. Oh, what about Merman, too, with his
And it's all about like technology because they're losing magic. And Merman was like, the sea will never forget it, neither will I. Now, if I was Evelyn, now I didn't have to say anything, but I would have said, listen, I'm supposed to help you. I don't have any magic. What would you like me to have done, Fishman? Fish sticks. What would you like to be? He's like, we could have ruled. You could have ruled the land. I could have. What would he have her do? There was no magic.
I guess because he's trying to say that she's smart. Is that what he's saying? That she's like cunning? Oh, and Lynn, David, by the way, what did she say? It wasn't Eve. She added.
When they were talking about names, like when he was talking about Oracle, he's like, and she's like, no, it was I added the evil. He was calling her Lynn.
How dare you call me Lynn? You will refer to me as Evil Lynn.
You refer to me as Lynn Lipton.
I'm back. For our Thundercats fans, So, David, I honestly have a prediction that I think Evelyn will give us a 360 again, because we always know that she will go with the side, I feel like, that has the power shift. I think that's like her
agree
character.
with that too, but I also think that she's not keen on Skeletor, because I think the man that she's talking about is Skeletor.
Yes. Yeah.
Even though he's ugly and grotesque. And that's another thing. When he said to the no-name girl, Force Captain, whatever, extra girl, he was like, "You want to know?" And Teela's like, "Leave her alone." "No, you asked me a question, and I'm going to tell you the answer."
Yeah, he said that.
Nobody's going to go with a man that looks like this. That's basically what he said. They will not swipe on Tinder for me.
Skeletor's personality and his wit, right? I mean,
he's like, no one will go with a man that looks like this. He basically said, no one will go with a man that looks like this. That's what he said. This is all about the fact that he can't go on a date because nobody wants to go with a skeleton. Now, I would have said, does it still work down there? Well, maybe we'll put
my God.
Maybe we'll put a blanket over your head.
A snuggie. They call me Bone Brain for nothing. No, but honestly, I know we're something.
Staff. Oh, wait. When Eva Lynn came in, you look old.
She did. I said the same thing. I said sorceress. Oh my God. You look like Tila Na, or whatever the first sorceress.
But she was, what do you call it? You know, Eva Lynn had to be a bitch. She's like, you look old.
Actually, Eva Lynn to me was a standout character. I really...
You should have went over 2 villages and got yourself some Botox.
Well, Evelyn looked gorgeous still.
I don't understand.
With her blue eyeshadow.
Evelyn has more magic, or what? Why would
she had like a little, and the sorceress was the sorceress. I thought she was like in a permanent.
The sorceress basically said to her, "We have the same interests. I'm gonna give you this magic because we have the same interests. We have the same like need to save the universe, basically." So she said that basically they don't trust her, but she imparted this magic to her or whatever. So
I want to watch it again at some point. I feel like there's a lot of things we might have missed, but I'm super excited, and I am praying as a He-Man fan that Adam will be brought back.
I don't think so.
Well, then
either he's dead and he's gone, but the way he was stabbed was right through the. Well, here's the thing: he already was summoning the power, wasn't it? Flowing through him already when he did it. He said it.
It did. I mean, I thought he was going to transform like that, but I guess it brought Skeletor back at the same time.
Oh, the skull brought him back. Or no,
so then I don't know if Evelyn was.
He put himself in Evelyn's staff
bag. Actually, I think that was endearing to her. She's like, he put it in my staff.
He was like, you did an amazing job, Lynn, or something like. He's like,
that was great. As a He-Man fan, besides the Adam,
it could stand alone. It can stand alone as its own series, even without He-Man. Like if I just saw it, it would be like another one of the shows that Netflix came up with. You know what I mean? Like I've watched The Hollow. I've watched a few other, which is based off of different things, but it would be like another. Oh,
yes. Since we know the characters, I feel like it gave more of a gravity to it. Like Orko, even though Kevin Smith says people didn't like Orko, I loved Orko. I mean, I don't think
heart.
He was a
dingbat. He had heart, but again, he's like Snarf from Thundercats.
Yes.
He did things. He's actually the one that saved Prince Adam from dying from the original thing. He had a talisman that took him from wherever he was dying. He was stuck in something, right? In mud, like some kind of like he was sinking in some sort of thing, or he was lost.
Yes, in the mud. That's why too. And they made it sound like Orko never had power. But I remember on Trala, well, according to the Filmation, he had power on Trala, and then when he went on Eternia, it didn't work, right? Isn't that what happened?
He had magic on Trala, and it doesn't work the same. It's almost like a different dimension or something.
I'm hoping gravity, at the end of this,
different gravity.
Yeah. I think at the end of this, we'll get a happy ending. Teela was supposed to be the sorceress. I don't know. Maybe He-Man will be the sorceress now, and she'll be Adam, you cannot leave Castle Grayskull.
No, something tells me Adam ain't he's dressed with some feathers before.
He's had some boas on in
he's had some experience with wearing feathers and such. Maybe with when he invited Fisto over, or
oh my God, Fist! I was just gonna say that
a young Latino man or something, but
young Latino.
But anyway,
so Radical Ones, that was our hot takes. It was all over the place because we literally just watched it at different time zones and we came together. It's late. It's 10 o'clock here where I am, and so we'll definitely definitely talk about this again, David, and I look forward to part 2, but honestly, if Adam dies completely, like stays dead, to me, it would sour a great start.
It would be very upsetting to me because knowing that he will turn into dirt and like become part of the ecosystem. That's basically what Mossman says.
Poor Mossman. Oh, and by the way, one more thing, Radical Ones. That was voiced by our original Skeletor, Man-at-Arms. That was Alan Orting. I'm sorry, I'm no good with names, but that was the original Skeletor's voice in Mossman from Filmation. So he came back to voice Mossman, which I thought was cool, and died.
And we have certain feelings. It's the fact that after you're gone, you're not completely gone. So the fact that if Prince Adam does die and he can't make it to another plane of existence because he sacrificed to come back would really be upsetting to me. Yes, Kevin Smith.
I agree.
Kevin Smith, that would be very upsetting to me. So you better think about it if you're in production right now. Even if
Tila gets the power,
even if she gets the power, which I don't even care at this point, you better make sure he lives.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Parents, those poor parents of his, too. The daughter was stolen and gone forever. And now the only son
Alicia Silverstone, which didn't even sound like her. That was Marlena. Didn't sound like her at all. I didn't hear, that's my son.
No, but that's... that's like, you sound like Sarah Paulson trying to do Drew Barrymore.
I feel like she's always like, I'm Alicia Silvers. I'm my son.
I was on Aerosmith videos, and I was Batgirl. I should have been Legally Blonde.
Our Radical episodes always go off the rails, Radical Ones. Tune in next time for our next discussion. It's a nice time to be a He-Man fan if you don't kill Prince Adam.
At least let him retire to the Copacabana with a bunch of Cabana boys.